Canopy integrity is good. Engines are good. Let's see. Head track on. I think we're set. Hello, everybody. Mr. Moo here in the cockpit. Here in Elite Dangerous. Here in Glidden Enterprise, back in the Narvert system. And we're about to leave. As always, I've got Alex at my side, at both sides actually, in the main computer. I've got a Hank at my feet. I've got a Yuki hiding in a cube. I've got my crew all here. Gear up. It's a good day. Hope everybody had a good day. Mythdoll, howdy. How are you? Let's see here. That could stand a little bit of fixing. Let me see. Chat. Let's move the chat. Let's move the chat up slightly here so people can actually see. There we go. Gonna get rid of the comms panel. Just leave that up. Try to get this as clean as possible. Day off, doing pretty swell. That's always a good day. I thought about doing more and more complicated stuff on the HUD, but no, it's just easier to keep things as clean as possible. Back on the clean slate pilot for a first time in a while, which makes me happy. I mean, deep space exploration is nice, it's zen, it's chill. But, you know, I like being extra productive too. Like, you know, instant gratification instead of that delayed stuff. Who needs that? Heading to the Urvacini system. Yeah, Urvacini. Near bubble exploration, trying to finish elite exploring. Nice. And here I go saying that, you know, talking about exploration, you know, delayed gratification. Nope, we're swapping out the cargo modules on this Cobra for some passenger modules, because that's where the money seems to be, at least in my experience. You know, other than doing the, you know, I'm trying to stick close to home to buff up the faction while at the same time, you know, make some amount of money. Eldani! And a salute to you too, sir.
Piracy is rife here.
Piracy is rife in all anarchy systems. That's why they're anarchy systems. Galaxy
Long
map.
range. Galaxy map.
Huh, only the one community goal this week. I saw that. I'm speechless, actually. Which isn't good in this line of work, but I'm speechless at how grateful I am to you guys for pumping stuff up in Narvert. Only one CG going, which I am so burnt out on CGs, it's not even funny. Was kind of hoping for a little bit more from the return, but, well, we'll get to that. How is the cutter fighter combo going? Sounds like it must be working well. Falcon to Lacey, X-Ray Tango 9er, request docking clearance.
Asking now.
Access granted. Please head directly for Bay 3-4.
Copy 3-4. Gear down.
Down and locked.
Most ships melt, never lost shields. Beautiful.
Docking successful. Commence power down. You are most welcome, Commander.
I'm kind of curious about this weapon load too. Speaking of, let's see if we can't round this out a bit. And we can. Nothing fancy, just a couple medium pulse lasers. Now then, let's see what we can do for passengers here. That'll carry 8, that'll carry 6. Carry 12 people. Carry 12 people versus 16 people. Okay, so we'll load up on business class cabins, but then just to save a bit of the trip here, we're going to store these and then pick up economy cabins. And then we'll just transfer the cabins back to Narvik. I like that weapon load. It's got a good balance to it. There we go. So we got dual economies in here, and if those don't work, we can go up to business class. Let's see what we can do about this. Oh, we can boost the power plant. Yeah, let's go for it. I actually made money off of it. All right.
Online.
And let's see the engines. Nope. No big fix there. All right, we're good. Switched over to flight assist off all the time? Damn, you are a braver pilot than I. I'd do that, but I don't want to. Yeah, that sounds... Yeah, that covers my response. Good afternoon. Hope you're enjoying your, oh, what the hell is today? Wednesday? Yeah, Wednesday. And back home to Narvik. So an interesting question I saw posed on the forums, and makes me wonder. Gear up.
Landing gear up.
Detachment complete. You are go for departure.
What's everybody thinking of the return so far, the Thargoid story? Because, personally, I'm feeling a little let down by it, and I know that's, you know, it's... Hear me out. I would have liked to have seen things burn. I would have liked to have seen a invasion. You know, not just... I mean, the Thargoids showed up, oh my god, they're so powerful, but they are sticking to the Thargoid zone in the Pleiades. Primary buffer panel just fly off my Gorham ship? Looks like. But yeah, I would have liked to have seen an element of danger involved, not an element of you gotta fly your butt off to get to the danger. I mean, it's kind of self-defeating, but at the same time, I think it'd be interesting. I mean, I would like to see... Well, taking it like the, I like the fact accessible to anybody who wants their non-invasive gameplay. Yeah, a slow spread, or, you know, have them, like, just take a straight line through someplace. You know, avoid this cylinder of space. You know, have... Babylon 5, where, you know, during the Shadow of Vorlon War, when you had updates on where the big actions were going to be, so you could steer the hell clear of those sectors. Or, you know, a more extreme measure would be, if anybody is familiar with the Star Trek Destiny series, the novels that take place after TNG in the Prime Universe, where suddenly the writers were able to do a whole bunch of stuff that they couldn't before because all attention had shifted to, you know, either the alternate timeline of the Abrams films or prequel stuff like Discovery. And one of the things that happened in there was a Borg invasion. 7,000 cubes came roaring out of transwarp conduits and just decided to start assimilating and or glassing everything in sight. Yeah, seeing them destroy a station would be... Yeah, it was over 7,000 cubes that just... after the events of Voyager, where Janeway destroyed the, you know, the Voyager finale, the storyline became that the Borg, in a rare moment of insight, decided that... That's true, they do look alive, and, you know, that is... I wonder about that, actually. I'm getting distracted here, but I wonder if there's no such thing as a Thargoid vessel, just various sizes of Thargoid. If they're like the Cylon Raiders in the reimagined Galactica. Anyway, yeah, that the Borg Queen, having dealt with Janeway more than enough, and dealt with the Federation more than enough, finally said... Nope, no more assimilation attempts, we're just wiping them out. They're more trouble than they're worth. But the trilogy of novels did end up providing a pretty good explanation for the origins of the Borg. And, yeah, it was... Some people are, well, there's voices for and against, but I'm generally in the for camp on those novels. Not V'ger, which was another, well, actually it's possible the Borg were the origin of V'ger, but there was a different origin for the Borg. Let's see here, let's get docked here first. Well, if anybody here minds spoiler alerts, or spoilers, let me know and I'll back off, but, yeah, if Mythdal is asking about the origins of the Borg, I wouldn't mind saying. Gear down.
Down and locked.
300 meters from touchdown.
I have seen Discovery.
Landing successful. Target restraints engaged.
But yeah, if nobody wants to hear me talk about the Borg origin, then speak now, or forever hold your peace. Someone is dumb for starting a witch hunt. I thought Discovery was... I thought Discovery was alright. The last episode was especially good, and I wish we'd gotten more of that through the season. It's not Star Trek as we know it, but it's interesting. It takes a little bit of getting used to, but I think that you can massage it in there. Okay, what was I going to do? Right, passenger missions. A witch hunt. Did she turn somebody into a newt? Did they get better? Sightseeing adventure, 5 tourists, Wangor-Terry, 11 tourists to Harang, that's 2 million. It's 1 million. It's good money. It's 2 million credits. I cannot turn down doubling my income at the moment. And 5 protesters want to go to the same place, so yeah. 2.5 million. We're doing that. Gear up. Gear up.
Restrict speed until
Retracting
clear
landing.
perimeter.
Thank you.
You're welcome, sir.
Whoa! T6. So anyway, the Borg origin. So, there's some time travel involved. But basically it involves the USS Columbia, NX-02. And Columbia stumbled across a species that... What a cannoneer dead. I threw my thoughts and ammunition into that hunt. Now I'm on a kill and sight list. Whoops.
You are clear of the station.
Good luck.
Travels, Commander.
So they encountered a species called the Kalier who were very hidebound, very much wanting to stay out of the rest of galactic politics, which at that time, if I remember right, was the Federation Romulan War. Now,
Unable to comply.
the Columbia was stranded. Their warp drive was shot. They were running high impulse and suffering relativistic effects.
Piracy is rife here.
So they were kind of screwed. They took refuge in a... Hey, Vertex, how are you doing?
Increasing sensors to maximum range.
So Columbia took refuge in a nebula and found this species that wanted no part of the Earth-Romulan War. And the Columbia's crew became, quote-unquote, honored guests. Which is to say, we aren't letting you leave, but you get to live as comfortably as you want here. Now, this species had programmable molecular technology. The finger is doing well. It's much better. The splint is off. I can actually, somewhat kind of sort of move it, so all good. They had programmable molecules, kind of like more advanced or on the level of Borg nanobots. There was an uprising among several of the crew members of Columbia who didn't want to stay, planted a bomb around the city's power nodes, just as these people were trying to start this great work, which would be to, if I recall correctly, open up a bunch of transwarp portals and jump their cities to various parts of the galaxy. And then they'd be able to create this big transwarp hub network and, not have to deal with all the war and strife going on. Now, they also had a collective, except it was called the Chorus, because they were still all individuals, but they could instantly go into technopathic communication with everybody else. And their opinions could be heard and thought out. And First discovery. First discovery? As in Elite, you just found something? Or... So there was a bomb planted in one of the cities, and only one of the Kalir, that species, survived, along with a couple of Makos who'd planted the bomb from Columbia's crew, and they ended up on a world. Ah, excellent. Oh, I won't ignore you. First discoveries are always exciting. So they were left with one Kalir who had a lot of programmable molecules and a bunch of Makos who were dying, or if they weren't dying right now from injuries, they were in bad shape because they were on a pretty cold world with no food available. And so this one Kalir suddenly cut off from the rest of her chorus because that transwarp conduit had been disrupted by a bomb going off. Also managed to send them back a few millennia. Decided to create a new collective, basically. But she was going to use these guys as her raw materials. So they ended up being forcibly assimilated into her new utopian society, where she was the queen. And the last dying thoughts of one of these Makos was, I don't want to be a cyborg. Well, that's where you get the name. So they were all an offshoot of this one species that had been discovered in the Earth-Romulan War by Columbia, which the explosion is why it got found in the Gamma Quadrant in DS9. And yeah, that's how you end up with the Borg. I'm not doing the description a terribly good amount of justice, but it's the gist. I'm also keeping my eyes open here for anything that may want to come and, shoot me. I don't want to be shot. Jumping topics, or kind of on the topic of being shot up, the sidebar tab Elite Track should be showing properly my missions, at least. There's the comms log. There's the mission log. Okay, we are good on that. Excellent. What are we hauling? Protesters and tourists. Well, that must be a fun time in the cabin right now. So what'd you find? You don't have to say where, but yeah, what did you find? I'm interested. And how far out were you when it happened? Probably at what, the 1,000 light year mark or so? Oh, you turned it in and you got first discovery? Best way to keep it secret. But tuning back to the conversation and, how I got slightly sidetracked by the idea of 7,000 cubes rolling through, there's something of a case to be made for doing that with the Thargoids. Of just having them sweep on through. I mean, right now, you've got community goals going on. You've got the various nations, the big three, kind of going, oh crap, what are we going to do now? You've got admirals saying our capital ships are useless, and that was after all this massive story about how much there was a huge military buildup of capital ships. So that's kind of dead-ended. Which, all of those community goals to build capital ships, all those community goals, shuttle here, fight here. And it's all feels for nothing. Now, I know the story's not done, but at the moment, and with Frontier playing everything, all their cards so close to their chest, it's 2,900 light years away from Sol. Bunch of systems. Yeah, that's true, Mythdoll. There's also something about the Cabal and, the connection between Inra and Aegis. What was the anagram of those combined? Rise Again or something like that? But, right now, though, there have been so many community goals that were devoted to this one thing, and then flip the, yank the rug out, and oops, that was all for naught. Which I understand from a storytelling perspective, but it's still a little bit bitter to maybe we should plow through their territory. There's a thought. But all this stuff, and everybody's treating it like this huge dire threat that, is only a dire threat if you go and look for it. It's like... Boy, how do I want to say? It's like somebody being told that there is a... This was brought up on the forums, and I can't remember the person who said it, but it's akin to a person in, name a place in the northern tier of the United States. Seattle, Minneapolis, New York City, somewhere around there. Being told about, this massive, nearly civil war going on in Mexico with the drug cartels, and how they're going after each other, and they're also going after anybody who challenges them. And we're told it's a great big serious thing, but it doesn't affect... It doesn't have much of an effect that far away, that far removed. Now, if there was something with the Thargoids happening in the Pleiades and it was affecting, say, ship outfitting, or if it was affecting market availabilities, if it was sending some kind of shockwave through the economy, that would be, I think, a little bit more, what do you want to say, a bit more immediate to people. Maybe not directly Thargoid ships rolling through, although a few raids or probes or scoutings or whatever you want to call it, recon in force. You just had an idea to make CGs more story-wise fun? Oh. Alright, what do you got? Let's see where this place is. Come on, you want to go there? Closing in on where I gotta be, so I guess I shouldn't spend too much time in the galaxy map poking around. But Eldani, what's your idea? How do you think you could make CGs more fun? Combat trade CG at the same time where the combat's against Thargoids to break the blockade. That has potential. No, I like that. The incentive goes up, the stakes go up. No, I could get behind that. I mean, that would be... I think you would see people flocking to that in numbers that you've not seen in a while. All right, here we are. Let's get a scan going on this planet so then we can see where to land. Also, very good incentive there. Yeah, good incentive to, from the grateful population. Hell, even make it a little bit higher. Make it, say, 20% just at this station, but that only goes to people that participate. Because it's only one station versus all of Li Yongri's systems and stations. So make it higher, make it only available at that one place, and it's only to people that rescued that station. Like how the Cobra 4 and how the Cobra 4 was only available for a limited amount of time, and then it's gone. Now, I know there's a lot of hate for the Cobra 4. I myself am one of them. But I do have to admit that the Cobra 4 has a almost perfect module and hardpoint setup for mining. First quarter 2018 as far as I know. And maybe they'll put that in once the Type 10 Defender drops. Because that thing looks like it is designed solely and exclusively for anti-Thargoid activities. And apologies on the sound outside because somebody is now running a vacuum truck, because of course they are. But no, the, what was that called? The Chieftain. Gear down.
Deploying.
The Chieftain, the new version of the crate. Really interested in both of those. The Type 10 Defender, not quite my thing. Although it was available at one station for a very, very limited amount of time, so apparently some people have it now.
Touchdown confirmed. Defense system shut down. Security forces are on the lookout for dissidents in this area, Commander. I would advise you don't provoke them.
Looking for dissidents? Why, I would never do anything like transport protesters. That's unheard of.
Incoming message. Incoming message. Cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Yeah, Mythdal. The Type 10 Defender was available for sale very, very briefly. Not sure if it was an accident or not, but it's out there in the wild. Alright, anybody going back to Narvert? We'll take the fast way. That just doubled my cash. Let's see. Nope. Nope. You're going to Wongarateri. That's kind of neat. Nope. 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 No, it wasn't for sale at Hutton Orbital. Obsidian Ant did a video on it. Alright, let's get home and get this cargo dropped off. Gear up.
Gear coming up.
Ship released. Make way for oncoming traffic.
If you look at the Elite Wiki, they've got full specs and stats out for the Type 10. Flight tested. Well, that's dependent on whether or not the station knows that I'm bringing in protesters. Which, just between you, me, and the protesters, the station doesn't need to know. Nobody's getting sold into slavery. No one dies tonight, so says the Phoenix. Oh, for Christ's sakes. If you haven't seen, and this is a little old, but if you haven't seen Floating Hands Productions X-Men stories, they're pretty damn hilarious. All the X-Men trying to figure out how many times they've died. Beast trying to count it up with, let's see here. I've died once. Nate points at Wolverine, and you've died. And Wolverine, with this great over-the-top Canadian accent, goes, "Oh, I've lost count."
DLAC X-ray Tango 9er. This is an independent star system, Commander. Request docking permission prior to touching down.
Falcon to Lacey, X-Ray Tango 9er, request docking clearance.
Initializing landing procedures.
Landing permitted. Cleared for landing on docking bay 1-6.
Copy 1-6. But yeah, the story was how Jean came back. Again. Gear down.
Deploying landing gear.
And Beast giving her a physical, like, well, once again it looks like you've come back from death in the peak of physical health. How do you feel? I feel really good, though I'm kinda hungry. I feel like I could eat an entire galaxy. What's that? Nothing. Beast turns his back for 1 minute. She turns all red and Dark Phoenix, flies out the roof. Jean? Jean? She goes zooming past the window screaming, "I thirst for chaos!" Oh, hell. I'm sure it was a great, majestic sight, Eldani. I have seen The Expanse. I love The Expanse. I can't wait for more of The Expanse. Okay, let's turn in these microwave cooling hoses. How do you even handle the Phoenix? Well, there's a few ways. Longer Heaviside Survey, I can do that. That's another nearly 500 grand right there. So that's 10% of my cash right there. Gear up. Gear up.
Retracting landing module.
He also had Apocalypse showing up and trying to pick his next horseman again. Everybody's assembled out on the grounds of the mansion for another battle. He's like, "Who will be my next horseman?" Ah, screw it. Eeny, meeny, miny, you! I lost my powers. Ah, shit.
All clear. Have a safe trip, Commander.
There's a lot of things in the X-Men that you look at and go, wait a minute. Damage control. The Damage Control comics had a great make-your-own crossover storyline. And it's too good to, too big to remember right now, but the punchline was, no matter what else happens, oh, and everyone still hates the X-Men. I've read X-Men on and off for quite a while. I can't believe World War Hulk was so long ago now, but that was a pretty good one when Hulk shows up to, the fact that Hulk has gotten so mad, he's calm. And, I forget who it was, but he had adaptive powers that let him handle any threat. Well, when the Hulk showed up and faced him down, his powers immediately adapted to teleport somewhere else. And somebody else, claiming to be invulnerable, Hulk was like, great. Picks him up, throws him over the horizon, go be invulnerable in New Jersey. Hey, iMage, how you doing? And yeah, Hulk v Thor was pretty cool. But the whole Planet Hulk and World War Hulk storyline were actually really good. It's like, holy shit, we've made the Hulk so angry, he's not yelling. Guys? Guys, I don't want to be here anymore. Devastation's a good game. I just haven't... I haven't played it enough since I got this new setup. I really should. I should just plug in my control pad and go for it. Let's see. I used to play Sabertron.com's Heavy Metal War quite a bit. And that was totally fan-made, free-to-play, etc. It was just basically make your own characters and level them up through RNG combat, influenced by their stats. That was fun. That's kind of gone by the wayside, but it's still there if you look it up. Haven't played the mobile games. I was kind of hoping for more from their MMO, but that never quite happened. And I'm happy to say I never dropped any money on the mobile card game that was going like 5 or 6 years ago. So I guess my take on the various Transformers games is I still haven't found a good one that really plays like I'd like. The closest one I found is Devastation. But I would love something like, you know, this is pie in the sky, but if you could combine something like, you know, Strike Suit Zero's transformation mechanics with, you know, anything else. First-person shooter, first-person driver. War for Cybertron and Fall of Cybertron were good. I forgot those were out.
Orbital flight engaged.
Good games, a little on the... Well, I was going to say a little on the linear side, but what else are you going to do with that? There wasn't enough exploration in those games. It was more, you know, here's a path from arena to arena. Earth War. I'm familiar with it, haven't played it. Or I mean, I've heard of it. I'm otherwise not familiar with it. Falcon to Lacey, X-Ray Tango 9er, request docking clearance.
Docking request confirmed. Landing pad allocation received.
Delisi X-Ray Tango 9er. This is flight control. Please follow established docking procedures and request access before you approach the port.
Gear down.
Granted. Set down
The
on
gear
landing
is
pad
down.
01.
Locked.
Oh, there's ways. You could find some app to mirror your tablet's screen on a PC, and then you're gold. I'm sure there's also plenty of plug-in adapters. Hell, all you gotta do is get if it's got an HDMI port on it, then you're good.
Population is in dire need of aid, Commander. We would welcome any donations you could give.
What the hell's going on in this station? Famine, famine, famine. Oh boy. When even the controlling faction's going, help us, please. Top off the tank.
Incoming message.
So there, now we got 5.5 million. Ought to be able to do something with this. What can we do with 5.5 million? I know what we can do with 5.5 million. Anything here in terms of... I don't have any cargo on board. Yeah, I can buy y'all a few rounds. gear up.
Landing gear raised.
Detach confirmed. You are go for departure.
What was that? Oh, that's just the small and the large Magellanic clouds poking over the horizon. Gotcha. No. I know what we can do with 5.5 million. First, though, we're going to go back and we're going to say goodbye to an old friend. Excuse me. I think it does roll over the, if you mean like system status, famine, war, etc., I think that does recheck every 24 hours and make adjustments as necessary. Oh, any progress made towards change? Oh, that I'm not so sure about. That one you've got me on. I did a lot of searching on how to affect the RNG, and I never came across that one, so that one's... wow. I'm not saying it's not true, but that's digging deep into the settings. Okay, so we're going to get back to Glidden. And we are going to sell... we're going to sell that Viper. Because we want a combat ship. Well, 5.5 million is just about what you need for a... let's go look that up and be sure. Bucky Terminal. Coahing. Right. What we got here? Passengers disembarked. Oh, hey, I got promoted. Yay! Alright. This is about the extent of my flight assist off technique for now. Falcon DeLacy, X-Ray Tango 9er, request docking clearance.
Request sent.
Access granted. Adjust heading for approach to pad 1-2.
Copy 1-2. Yeah, this is about the extent of my flight assist off skills. Just coming in on approaches like that. Gear down.
1,000 meters from touchdown.
Gear down.
Landing complete. Vent system shut down.
Well, goodbye, old friend. This is where we part ways. Actually, this is where I part you out and then sell what's left. You know, same thing. Alright, hard points. Well, I've got the room. Just store this stuff. Now the other components, those get sold. Let's see what we can make here off of this. Optionals, that's the cargo rack. Interdictor, hull reinforcement. You can't see me, but I'm raising my hand right now. No, I like the outfitting. I like poking around and trying various configurations. Oh, hey, I could buy a... No. Actually, on second thought... I wouldn't need the Cobra if I had this thing. Damn, that's tempting. No, must be strong. Must be strong. Early fighter bay, yeah. But Orion has a good point. Don't you dare. Alright, well, we'll put a pin in that idea for later. Yep. Confirm. We'll put a pin in that idea for later. It would carry more people, I think. And I haven't flown one. I mean, I've flown the Type 6. I have a friend who flew the Type 6 as an explorer ship, named it the Bread Box of Discovery. This one could be like the bread knife. Gear up.
Retracting landing
Attach
modules.
confirmed. Watch for oncoming traffic when passing through the airlock.
Initiate jump sequence on my mark.
Okay.
Mark.
Hyperspace jump engaging.
The bread box you chucked at someone's face. Yeah, something like that.
Safe travels, Commander.
Something like that. Damn it. I've just committed to buying a keel back. I mean, not immediately, but it's in the cards now. Good lord, I'm going to have a keel back. Right. Before I go picking up something like that, I may as well have a ship that I can have fun with. So I can have an SRV in this thing, along with 2 Class 4 passenger modules. I'm trying to figure out in my head, because I don't have the stats in front of me, if a keelback can exceed that. With shields. And a fighter bay. I think it can. Let's see here. 1.5 million for that one. You know... Oh, good lord, I can't believe I'm committing to this action. You would be starting off 2 ships from basically scratch. Wouldn't have much in the way of parts, but... Well, everybody needs to start somewhere. Or, you know, start over again somewhere. Who knows the cutter. Gimbaled beam, because you definitely there aren't that many turrets to pick from, and I could never get a cutter, you know, to work with a fixed hardpoint to save my life. Or run a multi-cannon with corrosives.
DeLacy, X-ray Tango 9er. Federal flight control channel open. Observe docking protocols if you wish to land.
Falcon DeLacy, X-ray Tango 9er, request docking clearance.
Requesting landing pad.
Landing permission granted. You are clear for approach to pad 27.
Copy Tower 27. Yeah, the gimbaled beam is the conservative option because it's good for just about anything, but yeah, Class 4 multi is, you know, kind of the party favor everybody loves. Gear down.
Lowering landing gear.
Yeah, cannon. Wait, like a cannon or a multi-cannon? Because I don't like the big... I don't like the big one-shot cannons. Yeah, exactly. Multi-cannons, at least, they follow with, Or as my dad used to say, if you can't shoot straight, shoot often. Okay, let's see here. Actually, I have Antal. Let's be smart about this. Let's be smart about this. And go to a... Let's see here. Leong. There we go. If we're going to be spending this much money, let's do it properly. 7 Andromedae. Okay. Where are we now, actually? Yep, still. Okay. 90... 105 light years out, but... This way we'll save a whole lot of money. Okay, I've got the fuel for it. How far? 7 jumps. Could be better, could be worse. Gear up.
Landing gear raised.
Ship released. You are clear for egress.
So I just went to EDDB and looked up where I could buy ships of a certain make and model in Li Yongri's sphere of influence, which will give me a great big discount.
Clear of the station. Safe travels, Commander.
And really, when you're dealing with money like this, when your pockets aren't quite as deep as on your main, this is kind of what you want to do. Yeah, a cutter is a good ship, but it is not a ship meant for precision dogfighting. Yeah, fixed guns on that would not go over well. On the other hand, turrets, even gimbals, might be enough. I certainly have no problem with all the gimbaled weapons on my Anaconda. That thing will, that thing just melts ships. And that's nothing but multi-cannons. So, here's the new, oh my god, what am I doing plan. We're going to fly here to 7 Andromedae, and we're going to buy a Vulture. And that's going to be our combat ship. And then we're going to buy a Keelback. I really wish somebody else had tried to talk me out of this. I mean, Orion, he did his best, but I'm actually buying a... I can't even... Well, we'll see how much I love it or hate it after I fly it a few hours. Fixed multi-cannons on the gunship, huh? I know, you said don't do it. Don't you dare. I kind of want to be talked out of it. I kind of not want to be talked out of it because, it is something different. It's something a little off to the side. And it provides access to fighters. I'm going to absolutely go Python after I get enough cash to buy a Python. At the moment, I have no cash for a Python, which means no Python. And I don't think they're going to let me buy it on installment plans. Do it so we don't have to. Yes, but for that I need a decent amount of cargo to make money on a community goal. Well, decent amount of money or a decent amount of... Oh, boy. I eat... I've hauled indecent cargo before. Nearly got me blown away. Galaxy map.
Stellar cartography.
Well, we are closer to the run system. What the hell is in the run system anyway? Well, I guess we'll see what happens when we dock and find out what... The computer said I would have enough fuel for this. Oh good, the computer was right. So that was looking mighty iffy for a moment. I just looked down and saw my gankers are in the run system. Yeah, that's true. Then again, when I stream, I fly solo so I don't get ganked. Or, sniped. Which is like ganking with more of a personal touch to it. Ganking's more of a to whom it may concern kind of issue. Alright, I've got the fuel for this. Get landed. Get a ship bought up. So you want to call the fuel rats. Let's not. I mean, I wouldn't mind making that video, but I would feel really, really dumb having had, if I had to call them. I've been pretty good about it. I've actually never needed the rats in all my time playing. It's been close. It's been very close. A couple of times I've gotten warnings on my, as I started scooping, which said, warning, main fuel tank drained. So you want to be a fuel rat. It's not a bad idea. Contact them and try to work with them a little bit. I think I'd want to become one before I felt comfortable doing a video speaking for them. Which isn't a bad idea either. certainly got the resources on my main that, being a rat wouldn't be terribly out of the way, especially now that you can synthesize. Yeah, I'm getting gold ideas here. Especially now that you can synthesize limpets. You can have the bottomless rat. You are no longer limited by your limpet supply.
DeLacy, X-Ray Tango 9er. This port operates under federal jurisdiction. You must submit a request before landing.
Falcon DeLacy, X-Ray Tango 9er, request docking clearance.
Initializing docking procedures.
Authorization cleared. You are go for approach to pad 01.
Copy, 01. Gear down.
Deploying landing modules.
Unsanctioned acts of aggression will not be tolerated.
Really, I mean, your synthesis supply for limpets is limited only by your cargo bay and material storage.
Docking confirmed. Dispatching ground crew. Station facilities are at your disposal.
Alright, first thing though. First things first. I don't know, I can imagine a lot. First things first. We're picking up one of these. We are replacing the Viper Mark III with this. Now we're cooking. The Core Dynamics Vulture. Heavy Starfighter. Because the term, well, to quote Colonel John Hannibal Smith, overkill is underrated. Now we're going to part out the Cobra. Oh, you hated the Vulture. Well, you hated the keelback too, so I guess today's a fun day for you, isn't it? In all seriousness, I can see what you mean. I mean, against... Well, I do know that the Vulture has some issues, that actually the raw DPS isn't there. But given its size, its shields, and its weaponry, it's got a hell of a set of maneuverability. What are your thoughts on it? I mean, okay, you say you hate it, but what's up? All purchases are questionable. Seriously, every time I buy something, I'm like, do I really need this? And the answer is almost usually, let's put a huge glass canopy directly in a line of fire. Yeah, the canopy isn't fun, but then again, it's Core Dynamics. And Core Dynamics and Lakon seem to have some kind of conspiracy about, let's see how big a target we can make the pilot. We may need that frame shift drive. Sensors, fuel tank, okay. Optional internals. I didn't get rid of these, damn it. I should have offloaded those in Narvert. Yeah, cockpit shutters would be neat, I think. I'm gonna need those. Well, this will gain me some cash. I'm sure I will buy the Cobra back at some point. Until then, though... Really? I have never seen that. It must be when the station goes into what, extreme lockdown? Alright. So what, I don't even know what the internals on this thing are like. Let's find out. Alright, so we are running a Class 4 frameshift drive. And that gets us 24 light years. Okay, so we're on par with the... We're on par with the Cobra right now. I may be able to work with this. I got 3 million to play with. I may actually be able to turn this into a semi-decent ship. Don't need anything there yet. Buy that back. Get this somewhat lightened in weight. Okay, let's see here. Oh, the power plant.
Shields offline. Shields
Oop.
online.
Too far. Okay, so... Huh. Not looking too horrible right now. We can do something with this, I think. Let's see. Let's put the shield generator in here. Hell, my eye is twitching right about now. I just don't know what to... Okay, so... We'll put the Well, can we buy a better cabin here? Passenger cabins, here we go. A Class 5 will carry as... economy will carry as many as 2 Class 4s. Okay. Alright. Just in a pit of disappointment. Hey, Kobo. How you doing? I'm making, Orion and, I'm making people twitch here with very bad choices. Yeah, the ship has some pretty good optionals, to be honest. Erg. There we go. Fix multi-cannon. So now we've got a fighter. Well, that's nice. The ups and the downs. Let's see. Galaxy map.
Displaying map.
Yeah, I'm questioning my intelligence on this, and at the same time, it's about doing something different. Okay, we can make it here on this amount of fuel. That's good. So, all right. Yeah, if I want a ship to fall apart when somebody throws something harder than harsh language at it, sure. I am a big fan of TIE fighters when I play X-Wing. Doesn't mean I want to fly one. So while we're here, while we're in this system, we may as well see what we can do to at least get this somewhat combat-worthy. First off, those hilariously small guns need to go. Actually, if anybody else here plays the X-Wing Miniatures game, I am a huge, huge fan of Fen Rao and the Fang Fighter. No shields, but a good amount of hull, and, just kind of the Mandalorian fighting style of run up and punch you in the face really hard until you die. That's pricey. It's also pricey. Okay, let's see if we can't C-rate this sucker.
Shields offline. Shields
Now, if they had 5
online.
size 1 guns on that platform, yeah, now we're talking. Right, that's why I thought this thing ran E-rated thrusters. So we aren't going to go too overboard yet. That, and we're going to have this thing shipped back to Narvard. Good power distro on it. Though we're gonna run slightly cheaper for now. Mandalorians are fun. They're very, what's the trope? Blue and orange morality is a good way to put it. Not necessarily bad, just different. Right. The most important thing. Shields and guns. Optionals. 5e shield generator. Good. We're already starting off on a good note here. We'll stick on 5Cs. Well, it depends. I mean, if they're really... You need a good author to be able to pull them out, because otherwise they just kind of turn into, you know, Star Wars Klingons, where, you know, they can really easily fall into almost self-parody. Alright, let's stick some firepower on this thing. There, a couple of fixed burst lasers ought to make a mess of anything. And keeping with my fixed guns for lasers. Unless, you know, either fixed or turrets, depending. But we've got this thing sort of possibly outfitted. Let's get back into here. So we've got a decent jump range. Actually got some decent passenger capacity. I don't know. Phasing sequence isn't... I don't know. For the damage it does to hull, it's just easier to knock down the shields. I like... Oh, what do I like in my lasers? I'm not sure, honestly. I don't know that there's any really good mods that I like other than... Well, special effects that I like. Okay, let's get some stuff sold off here. We don't need that for sure. Don't need that. I'll keep these. Alright. Now, let's stick some firepower on this thing. I mean, for my... Hey, Malakir, how you doing? For my big, like, Oh, I did throw together a couple of Class 4 healing lasers. Class 4 beam lasers with concordant and regen sequence apiece. That was kind of funny to hit friends with, but... For, you know, just for non-support stuff, I can't think of a laser special effect I like. Can't think of anything good that I like here either, really. I mean... This thing is probably going to get my ass kicked if I go with... let's try it anyway. Worst comes to worst, I deploy somebody in the fighter. Oh, new desk? I just got done fighting with another new desk and other new things being assembled and... Okay, so we're upping the firepower a wee bit here. The problem is, with this ship, that means I got to turn around and face them, so I'm not sure I've got the shields to do that. So, hey, we'll see. Okay, so I got 900 grand left in the bank, 265 to rebuy. Changes to modules, yes, I know. And one more thing, and that's hiring some crew. And we're going to start cheap. You want 2% of the profit and you're only asking 15 grand? Congratulations, you're hired. Here's your fighter. Get used to it. Galaxy map.
Stellar cartography.
Computer says we can still make it to Narvert on one tank, so I'm going to believe it. Set 2-1.
Power to engines.
Lights on.
Lights on.
Well, here we go. 6 jumps, so actually better range than the Cobra had. Cannon fodder. I prefer semi-expendable backup. Gear up.
Clear the landing pad. You are go for departure.
Live a week and I might learn your name. Until then, you are a blade of armor. Speed's nothing to write home about. Unless you're writing home to say, dear God, this thing's slow. Jump.
Preparing for jump.
Federal Flight Control now offline. Hope to see you again, Commander.
Correct. That's her gone.
Faster than light velocity reach. Confirming exit point telemetry. Stand by. Exploration data saved.
Come on. Well, can it maneuver in Super Cruise? At least it can do that. Kind of. This thing's gonna take some getting used to. Oh, why do I do this? Why the hell am I flying a keelback? You are correct, Malakir. I am flying a keelback. Mostly because I wanted a little... Well, I wanted something that could carry more than the Cobra did. And that's... This thing certainly counts. It's got the same... It's got the same firepower, but it's also got the fighter bay. No, we're naming this thing something properly, you know, the bread knife. Or maybe the bread box of bludgeoning. The toaster oven. Too bad I can't use Oben names from Schlock Mercenary, just because they're too long. The sharpened letter opener. Yeah, this thing doesn't exactly inspire confidence, does it? But if anybody here is familiar with Schlock Mercenary, the Oben have grandiose, overly long names for their warships. Which the mercenaries, Tagon's Toughs, mocked with their, what they call it, the scrapyard of insufferable arrogance. But we're going to see how well fixed guns work on this thing. I have a feeling the answer is going to be not very well. Actually, we've got a damn good fuel tank on this thing. We're already at Wongarateri. Half a tank. I didn't even need the auxiliary fuel tank. Preparing to jump to Wongarateri. Famine reported. Well, that's no good. Let's see if we can't fix that somehow. Though of all ships across sci-fi, some say he ran a keelback with fixed guns. Yep. And that he has webbed buttocks. Of all the ships across sci-fi, I have a special place in my heart for the Errant Venture. And if anybody's familiar with Star Wars, the expanded universe, you will know of what ship I speak. But for those who don't know, there was a smuggler by the name of Booster Tarek who got tired of... He was just bored out of his mind running small ships. Until he got his hands, thanks to a unlikely series of circumstances, on an Imperial Star Destroyer that he turned into a flying casino. And also a flying smuggler's haven. Painted it barn red, so he had the only bright red Star Destroyer in the galaxy, and named it the Errant Venture. Politics, there's a very small number of megaships out there. They are actually a really, really valuable asset. I mean, jumping a megaship in somewhere is no small feat. But that's why my main has that, that's why I've kept the Imperial Cutter around. Just because of the amount of starlift capacity that sucker has. You need to move a metric ass ton of food. Well, metric ass ton of anything. And we aren't talking we're talking metric ass tons, not imperial. So you can break it down. There's, 1,000 kilo asses in a metric ass ton. Yeah, I'm a have to argue with that one, with that assertion. I mean, I could not fly that thing in combat to save my life, literally. It turned like you were steering a train. Well, I think you just figured that out. It's like 1,000 millasses per... It is a silly conversation.
This is an independent star system, Commander. Request docking permission prior to touching down.
Lake on X-Ray Tango 9er, request docking clearance.
Request done.
Request approved.
Copy 07. I cannot believe I'm flying a... Yeah, this thing is a little ungainly compared to my Cobra. Let's see if we can get in without bashing up the mail slot. Gear down.
Landing gear deployed.
Well, I managed to land without embarrassing myself, so that's a thing.
Contact. Dispatching ground crew.
Okay, let's get those modules shipped back here along with that ship. $34 grand, I'll take it. Okay, let's sell that auxiliary fuel tank. Yeah, we're gonna run a mission or two in this thing and then see how the Vulture flies. Let's get rid of this auxiliary fuel tank. Fighter hangar, shield generator. Alright, let's put a vehicle hangar. Oh yeah. That little power generation issue. Right, so let's turn that off.
Shields online.
Online.
And then just in case, let's turn off the... Oh, where's the cargo hatch? Okay, that's under... That's on high priority already, so that'll turn off when I deploy the guns. Okay, we are good there. Refuel the tank. I was going to call it the bread knife of desperation, but EAS bread knife. There we go. Yeah, but I just hate... I hate the power situation as it is right now. Every time I start the ship up, anytime I jump, anytime I do anything, I'm going to hear modules deactivated. I may as well just turn it off and then turn it back on when I land. It's not that much time out of my day. Yeah, I remember that, Eldani. I remembered they had different sizes of ships for... Well, let's see, requirements not met. Nobody. Damn it. Okay. I have tried engineering. I just haven't tried it on this ship because I just bought it. But yes, I imagine these things will be engineered at some point. That is a lot of cash going to Thedidic. Oil estate, accept. Oil estate, accept. Oil estate, accept. And right plant, because why not? Yeah, that's probably going to be in the cards at some point. Once I get a ship with a decent amount of jump rate so that, you know, it's not just a stream of here's everywhere between point A and point B. Universal cartographics, sell, make a little bit more cash there. All right. Gear up.
Retracting landing
Ship
gear.
detach complete. You are clear to leave.
One thing I do like about this ship, and that is the mobile engines on this thing. Let's see here. Come on. There we go. Can't really see it too well, but I like the way the engines, the vectored thrusters on these things. I do like that. I just wish they had more of those thrust vectoring nozzles on actually maneuverable ships.
All clear. Flight control out.
And thank you for the tip, Saber. Bar survey to Hayden soon. Passenger run, 30 minutes, 20 million credits. Not bad. I'll have to remember that one. At the moment, I'm trying to help out my faction as well here. The Errantry Alliance of Narvert. That's a faction I actually helped create, and so I'm kind of sticking close to the system to boost that, although with friends like Eldani and crew helping out, that seems to not be as critical an issue as it used to be. And again, thank you guys so much for helping out on that. Oh my god. The thing I liked about my T6 was I didn't have to look at it. The Errantry Alliance of Narvert. There's a there's a form you can submit at the Frontier forums for creating your own faction. Oh, I imagine so, Eldani. The Lakon, Type 6. You think you hate it now, but just wait until you fly it. And we're gonna go Star Trekking. Dope. Well, your standard Lakon cockpit. Which is to say, it makes Core Dynamics cockpits look like armored bunkers by comparison. Lakon X-Ray Tango 9er, request docking clearance.
Initiating landing protocols. Reducing velocity and deploying docking modules.
Excuse me, no, it doesn't take nearly that long. Basically, it comes down to you want the job, you're hired. Gear down?
Deploying docking module.
Yes, 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 I got it.
Docking successful. Engines disengaged.
Yeah, I love the Asp Explorer, but low tier, I mean, it's a 6 million credit ship. Then again, I just spent God knows how much on, a new keel back and a vulture, so I guess I can't be too terribly critical of things like that. What's your salary? All the pirates you can shoot. I want to argue with you on that, but I can't. Yeah, Python. I would love a Python. That's what I'm working up to. I mean, I just swapped out from a Viper and a Cobra to a Vulture and a Keelback. Next step is probably going to be going to a Python and a Fertile Ants if I'm really, really good with the cash. Gear up. In fact, I may send my ship out there. Out to where you saying it was up there in the... I'm gonna scroll back up and look for that system name again, just so I know it. Okay. Copy and paste. All right, now I got it. Let's see here. Message myself on it. Loads, moderation, highlights. Alright, got it. Yeah, good outfit, Python. Damn. Obviously, I need more water in me. I don't know about that. A decently outfitted Anaconda can go for... I'd have to look up mine, but $1 billion is... I mean, that's if you go with the extra hull armor and all the bells and whistles. Yeah, workable Pythons, you can do that for under 100 million. Workable, that is. It won't be the God Emperor of the Spaceways, but you can get it going. Oh yeah, mining condos. Fairly well. There I go Star Trekking again because I'm talking instead of flying. Here's your PSA for the day, folks. Don't fly distracted. Oh, there's nothing wrong with the God Emperor way of doing things. Yeah, the Python, the Python is a flying cheat code. I mean, whoever designed it at Falcon DeLacy, I don't think that things like volume and mass were properly explained to them. Lakon, X-Ray Tango 9er, request docking clearance.
Request for docking sent.
Boarding permission granted.
Yeah, the Python is just a flying cheat code, and I absolutely love it. Yeah, no kidding. I mean, the Python has to be part TARDIS, I know. Gear down.
Down and
Yeah, it just goes to a blank screen and there's a little technical difficulty sign that goes up.
Engines disengaged.
Actually, I would argue that the Python is pretty damn good in stats. I mean, for the firepower it carries, for the cargo it hauls, and for the hull strength, shielding, and speed and distance it can put up, a Python would be... a Python would actually make a pretty decent large-scale ship, but the fact that they were able to cram all of that into a medium-sized hull, that is beyond impressive. Exactly. Yeah, it's a medium pad ship. Gear up.
Engines engaged.
Actually, let's see what happens here, just out of wild, terrifying curiosity.
Power plant capacity exceeded.
Balance.
redistributing.
Okay, I think we're out of the no-fire zone. Maybe. There we go. Okay, that drains the power quite a bit. Weapons.
Power diverted to weapons.
Slightly better. Set 2-1.
Powering engines.
Ready for deployment. I'll hold the fort, Commander.
Oh, this is so much better. I've missed flying one of these things around. Recall the fighter.
Ready to accept fighter. Sequence initiated.
Affirmative. Stand by. Door opening.
Sequence initiated.
Fighter at home. Ready to leave, Commander.
Retract hard points.
Retracting weapons.
Jump.
Preparing for jump.
First time I bought a Python on my main, and some of you heard this story already, but
Engaged.
I bought a Python, I didn't know what I was doing, I figured, hey, I got this, and I went into a community goal and open, and got interdicted by a much better Python.
Compiling data for cartography.
Let's see. There we go. Was just about to get blown up, and I had spent all of my money on this, and I was about 100 grand short of the rebuy. And this is before they had the insurance as well, so I say goodbye to this. I say goodbye to everything. All right, take care, Malakir. See you around. So I'm standing to lose everything, and somebody heard, and there's a crack of thunder and a cloud of dust, and out of Super Cruise drops down Commander Space Texan in a armed to the gills Imperial Clipper. And he sends a broadcast to me. Doesn't know who I am, just sends a broadcast. You know, attention Python. Excuse me, damn. Something caught in my throat there. Yeah, sends a transmission. Attention Python, this one's mine. You're clear. Didn't have to tell me twice. I didn't know about high waking at the time either, so I was just desperately trying to low wake out of there. Well, I was mass locked and outrun, so as soon as Space Texan rolls around, that pirate Python rolled around and engaged him. I was able to open up the distance enough to get clear. And that's where I learned the value of insurance and also the value of knowing your own limitations. And you'll have to excuse me, I've been something in the air, and I don't know what, because it's Seattle. I mean, it's supposed to be damp. State flowers mildew.
Lake on X-ray Tango 9er. Please comply with flight regulations as you approach the station, Commander.
Lake on X-ray Tango 9er, request docking clearance.
Orbital rendezvous procedures initiated.
Access granted. Set down on landing pad 3-8.
Yep. Somebody cast summon bigger fish. Set 2-1.
Power diverted to engines.
Gear down.
The gear is down and locked.
Yeah, if you read Darths and Droids, which I haven't read in forever, and I imagine they're up to episode 3 or 4 by now. Somebody running all of the Star Wars movies like a D&D campaign. And one of Qui-Gon's best spells is summon bigger fish.
Contact. Docking restraints
We
engaged.
would like to remind all commanders to avoid access to docking pods during landing and departure.
Okay, 4 tons of telemetry suites. A little extra cash in the pocket. Alright. Do I have my ship here yet? I do. It's here. Alright. Now, do I have the rebuy for it? That's the other good question. Survey says yes. Yes, I do. Got 3 rebuys at least. Lights on.
Lights on.
Set 2-1.
All power to engines.
Gear up.
Ship
Gear
detach
coming in.
complete. You're clear to leave.
And let's not go ramming this keel back. because I am still not used to fixed guns, and because I am not used to the flight dynamics on this one at all yet, we're going to run for a normal resource site. And again, the Narvert system is perfect for pirate hunting. I mean, here you got two Hazres within half a light second of the station. Oh, nice. So now you can drop off, one fighter blows and they just drop off the other one. So until I get myself used to the flight dynamics on this thing, I'm gonna use the regular resource site, so I actually have some backup here. Mr. Vulture says hi. Mr. Vulture doesn't like these other guys, though, so they're gonna have to go away. Mr. Vulture does like the payout, though. And speaking of, we are switching over from missions to combat on the Elite Track sidebar now. Oh, neat. Not gonna melt the power plant, at least I hope not. Hell, I'll be happy if I can actually hit the target most of the time. Or even 50% of the time. I've gotten so used to gimbals on my main that I kind of lost track of the basics. Balance.
Equalizer now.
Okay, head track on. Star trekking past. We'll use the gravity to slow down. Or...
Identifying threat.
Hull integrity compromised.
What? My hull integrity compromised for. Oh shit.
Power plant capacity exceeded.
Jim, we gotta talk. Things that I should do. Set up fire groups. Jim, no. No.
Target shields offline.
Split 2-3.
Diverting power to requested systems.
Frameship charge detected. Target destroyed.
Alright, well, that worked. Let's try that again. I don't have a hold, yeah. Though, my favorite ship still, for my main, I mean, the Python is my favorite, but my favorite fun ship is my Fer-de-Lance that I've got set up as a passenger hauler. The Doom Taxi.
Power plant capacity exceeded.
32.93 megawatts. Okay, so it's a little hard on the power plant, I get that. Jolan True. I'll be damned, we've got a Romulan here. Split 2-3.
Redistributing.
Yeah, I mean, it's got passenger modules on it, but it's still, like, so, it's armed so far past the teeth that, it'd send all but the most demented orthodontists screaming for the hills. And can you just imagine being in the cabin, folks, this is your captain speaking. Sorry for the interruption, but I just spotted a really big bounty coming up on my scopes, and passenger missions, that's a side job. I've illuminated the fasten seatbelt light, and it's not a suggestion. IG combat maneuvering commences in 10 seconds.
Scan detected.
The hell? Everybody's here. The problem is, I'm not confident enough because I'm not going to be able to run away from anybody in this thing. I don't have the engines for it. Yeah, suddenly, Clipper. Also the fact that I've got enough room for multiple passengers, so
Scan detected.
I was hauling, what was I hauling? Armed rebels and a tour group, both to the same system. Can you imagine the kind of conversation that happens in the cabin with stuff like that? So, you going to see the hot springs? Yes, but only after I fill it with the blood of the ruling class. Oh, that's, And then everybody in the cabin reaches for the call sign. Bong! Alright, here we go. We got a vulture and a viper. And a viper. Well, that didn't take long. Balance.
Equalize power.
Who's shooting me? This guy. And the power distributor craps out on me like I thought it would. Well, work with what we got, I guess.
Target shields offline.
Come on, you.
Target destroyed.
Alright, who else? You. Oh, you're gonna go away before you can get... Yep.
Target destroyed.
Funny thing is that a group of mercenaries were sent to kill the passengers. And they actually went after the tourists instead of the rebels.
Under attack.
Well, the distributor on this thing is garbage, but it seems to be working well enough. Anybody else? You! You, my friend.
Target shields offline.
Weapons.
Max weapon.
Engines.
All power to engines.
No, really. Blow up already. Thank you. You know, I feel a lot braver with dual Capacondas around. Unless one of them just decides that his fire button is stuck. Like that one. Apparently, he's flying with an X-55. Ugh, worst joystick I ever had. No, I don't wing up on stream. The last time I did, I got sniped. So, I guess if it was somebody who I was a little bit more comfortable with, then yeah, I'd end up doing it, but for the time being, I mean, nobody else has really asked. Weapons.
All power to weapons.
So yeah, the guy who's just firing his plasma cannons, I had an X-55 Rhino from Cytec, or Mad Cats, before they sold it off, thank God. And I went through 2 of those, and they both failed terribly.
Target destroyed.
I wanted to like the X-55, it had a lot of the features I liked, but it just sawed through its own wiring harness and the throttle. And the other one, the trigger got locked into the fire position, even if the trigger itself was in the, not pulled position. Tell you what, when that happened, that got real interesting. Right now, I am running a Thrustmaster Warthog. Actually, I've got a link to my rig down below in my my stream. Down below on my page. But I'm also running the Verpil Mongoose T50 instead of the standard Warthog grip. Correct. The Warthog has no built-in yaw in the stick. I'm running a pair of CH Pro Pedal rudder pedals. Well, here's to hoping then. I mean, I know that I put my X-55s through some work. The X-56, as far as I know, is just a bit of an upgrade to the 55, but hope it works for you. Knock on wood. Now, what do we have over here? Engines. Engines.
Transferring power to engines.
We got money is what we got. Weapons.
Transferring power to weapons.
I'm gonna have to do something about this weapon. Either boost the distributor or something. Oh yeah, the T16000M is pretty good. No, the problem was that it, in my opinion, or at least from all my experience, the problem was the Logitech and Thrustmaster stuff are both pretty high quality. And Cytec used to be too. I had a Cytec X45 that I bought, God, ages ago. And that was as reliable as the universe. It was about as rugged as a Russian hammer. And I gave it to a friend because he needed a stick flying Elite, and I upgraded to the X52 Pro, along with Commander Niall, my wife. And we both ended up running into troubles with the X52 in that stuff started getting really loosey-goosey on it. Like, there was no click to the switches, they just kind of flopped around. So I upgraded to the X55, and that was going pretty well until I started noticing that some of the thumb buttons on the throttle they were failing, or just not responding at all. Pulled it open and found that the action on the throttle back and forth had managed to saw the wiring harness for the buttons in half. So I sent that back and got a RMA'd that and got a new X55. And that's the one that got stuck in the firing position, as well as the throttle starting to run into the same problem. Ooh, your money. And I RMA'd that one too, and they said weapons. They said they would get a new one back to me when they had something in stock. Well, damn. They were expecting it would be back in stock in about 6 months. And until then, just run something new. Well, geez, I didn't have anything to play with. So I grabbed a CH fighter stick and a CH Pro Throttle and the CH pedals at the same time. So I was running a full-on CH set because the sticks don't run, they don't have a throttle or a yaw on the flight stick. So I needed the pedals. Well, that's about the time that Niao's X52, that decided to give up the ghost, and the throttle would actually stick at full throttle. And when she tried to haul back on it, that's when it just, the detent in it, the little bump that you can feel at 0 and at afterburner, that's when that decided to break off and get jammed in the throttle mechanism. Well, shit. What do you do? So she ended up, I gave her my entire CH set. I bought a new set of pedals, bought this Warthog, said screw it. Bought a Warthog, just went, well, whole hog, so to speak. And I've been flying that ever since, and she's been flying the CH set ever since, and that was a couple years ago now. The X55, both of those broke after about 3 months of use. And they sent me a replacement for the second X55 after 6, maybe 8 months, and that was a brand new X56, which I immediately put back in the box and gave to a friend who didn't fly as much as I did, so it wasn't gonna affect them as much, I didn't think. Oh. And here comes the cash. Kind of. Towser Flatpaws. A novice. Set 3-2.
Configuring for attack.
Alright, how do I do this? What's he running for weapons? Multi-cannon, pulse laser. Alright. So he's not running anything too terribly Zomg cool. He's not running plasma accelerators or anything, so that's good. There he goes, firing on a target. That means I've got shots. That wasn't so bad, actually. He was a novice. Still a novice worth, 66 grand. Alright, any fights in the distance? Any light fights I can see? Set 2-1.
Max engines.
Engine pips will keep me safe, but he was green enough and being shot at other people, so I felt confident pumping everything to weapons. I mean, it doesn't take me anything to pitch power over to my shields or to my engines, so... Alright, who are you? Clipper. The T16000M is a good stick, and I like their HOTUS setup now. I like the linear slider on the throttle. Set 3-2.
Transferring power to weapons.
Set 2-1.
Diverting power to requesting system.
I like the throttle that just moves in a straight line rather than in an over-the-top arc. It's Boo, the magic pirate. Well. Oops. Set 3-2. Weapons.
Power to weapons.
Under attack.
There he goes. Whoop. Nope. Nope. This guy was running multi-cannons and rockets. Whoops, now we got a problem. Engines. We are go for jump and we are not sticking around. That's bad, iMage. That you don't want that. Set 2-1.
Transferring power to engines.
Okay, minor bounty. 9 minutes left on that. You know, 5881 looks nice this time of year. And if anybody knows the Canyonero song, unexplained fires are a matter for the courts. Right, so we're going to hang out here for a slight bit of time. See what's over at Calais Port. Why not? The new Dudagara Alliance? Never heard of them. No influence, and at 2%, not going to hear much about them at all. So, after having accidentally hit a Capacondo with a stray laser blast, I decided that 4 light years away was a nice place to visit this time of year. With every cop in the sector there, well, bad deal. Because these guys make the judges of Mega City 1 look pretty lenient. In Mega City 1, you just get life imprisonment. You know, do hard time. Here, no. No, no, no. System authority. What are you? Weapons.
Configuring for attack.
He's lazily circling. We can't get a shot. Oh wait, yes we can.
Target destroyed. Target shields offline.
And he's gone.
Target destroyed.
Set 2-1.
Returning power to engines.
Well, decent amount of cash made off of those. 33 grand. Nothing to turn your nose up at, especially when the coffers are looking a little bit dry as they are right now. I mean, yes, I suppose I could buy a Cobra for that amount of money that I still got left, but then you end up just collecting ships, and down that lies the path of madness. And we've been going for about 2.5 hours, so I think we're going to get landed up here at Caleri and get turned in. And I think we're going to call it there for the day. And, no, we don't want to try getting close to that gravity break. Going to call it there for the day, going to get set up, handle some real-world stuff. Oh, get ready to get Yuki pilled because she needs to take her antibiotics. Getting teeth pulled on a cat is no fun. For the cat or for the human. She's much happier now, but still. Unfortunately, they weren't... And fortunately, not unfortunately. And fortunately, they were teeth that she doesn't really need as a house cat, but still. So I need to go armor up and everything because she's got claws. And teeth. She's got other teeth. Learned this one the learned this one the painful way. She's still got 5 pointy ends and she likes using them all.
Core Dynamics, X-Ray, Tango, 9. Please comply with access protocols before commencing docking procedures.
Core Dynamics, X-Ray Tango 9er, request docking clearance.
Asking now.
Permission granted. Plot route for approach to landing pad 28.
Copy 2-8. Gear down.
Down and locked.
And that will do it. Always a pleasure, everybody. Good to talk to everybody, meet some new people, chat around, just shoot the breeze.
Enjoy your stay at our facility, Commander.
If you like what you see, hit that like button, hit that follow button. It really helps the channel out. Yeah, and everybody have a good day. Enjoy your days or nights too, wherever you're at. Take care, and I will be back on tomorrow. I'm Mr. Moo. Fly safe. If you can't fly safe, fly dangerous. If you can't fly safe or fly dangerous, don't accidentally shoot at cops. We'll go with that one for today. Take care, everybody.
We will be forced to respond to a direct attack.